Hey guys, so in today's video I will be doing a first impression try on slash mini review, I guess, on the new foundation I just got. If you watched my birthday makeup haul, I hauled this and I said in that video that I was going to do a first impression try on video with this foundation. It is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation Plus Concealer. So I'm gonna give it a try. I've never owned a Clinique foundation before, so I'm curious to see how this works. The skincare from Clinique is probably my favorite. It's my favorite skincare that I've used. I have really sensitive skin, and Clinique skincare is really gentle yet effective on my skin and my skincare needs. So yeah, so this is what the bottle looks like. It's a nice glass bottle, and then this thing twists off, and then it's like a ginormous concealer applicator. So you can kind of just wipe it on and then blend it out. I pulled up the whatchamacallit on the Sephora website. So it says it's an oil-free foundation and concealer in one that achieves a flawless look that lasts all day. It's lightweight moisturizing foundation and concealer, provides full coverage without clogging pores. This 12-hour wear breathable formula is ideal for very dry combination to oily skin types. So I think it's supposed to be full spectrum, it's not geared more towards one specific type. Its special polymer formula forms a flexible film that moves with the skin for lasting wear and dries slowly for easy blending. Get lasting coverage and give skin a perfected look that stays put even through sweat and humidity. So it retails for $27, and there's 20 shades. So I definitely feel like the shade range was a little kind of lacking, but more for the fairer skin tones. This is the second to lightest skin tone. This is a 1 linen, right? Yes. This is number 1 linen. So it's very fair neutral, but this isn't super fair. I mean, I tested it on my neck in the store, and I'm not incredibly fair. There are definitely gals out there that have way fairer skin tones than me. So, and their foundations are definitely more like a orangey toned. So I definitely had kind of a hard time picking out a foundation that wasn't too. So I cleansed my face in the shower, and I moisturized with the Lubriderm Daily Moisture Lotion. When doing a first impression foundation video, I don't like to use primer just because I don't use primer every day, and I feel like it's a little unfair to test out the foundation if using a primer, because especially since I don't use the same primer every day. Some days I'm feeling more dry, some days I'm feeling more I want to smooth out my skin. You know what I mean? So I don't use a primer when doing first impression videos just to make it fair, but I always moisturize because that's definitely a step that I do not miss when putting on my foundation. I always moisturize before I do a primer. So, okay, so not gonna lie, this kind of smells like paint. I'm really hoping that this color isn't really off. Okay, I'm just gonna do one side of my face at a time. And usual, I'm gonna do one side of my face with a beauty blender and one side of my face with a brush. So I'm gonna use my beauty blender first. Okay, so there's one layer. Let me get a mirror so I can take a closer look at my face. I'm really surprised at the coverage. I feel like that was pretty good coverage. I mean, you can definitely see a difference in the side of my face that doesn't have foundation and the side that does. I think that this is my more troublesome side. I feel like I have more spots on this side than the other side, but, and the color, I mean, yes, it's very fair, but I feel like I can definitely make this work with like bronzing up and adding blush. Like I feel like once all of my makeup is on, it won't look so pale. But first off, I think that it looks really nice. It doesn't look too cakey. It doesn't look like it doesn't really look like it's sitting on my skin, but it also isn't really like sinking into my skin either. It doesn't accentuate my pores, which is nice because I have bigger pores like on the like fronts of my cheeks, like a lot of women do. Okay, so I'm gonna do this side and then see if I should go in with a second layer. I have to say this is like kind of convenient with the little like wiper thing, but I also can see it as being kind of like not very hygienic, because like if you, I mean, as long as your face is like cleansed before you apply it, I feel like that, you know, won't be gross, but okay. Okay, I don't like using a brush with it. I feel like it doesn't blend into my skin as easy as using a beauty blender. And I feel like I'm just kind of like wiping the foundation around as opposed to like blending it into my skin. But with like thicker, more like full coverage foundations, I typically don't like using a brush just because I feel like it kind of just like slaps the foundation around. I'm gonna add a little bit more in places that I feel like I need it, like on my nose and my chin and my forehead. Okay, so first off, I feel like it's holding up on my nose really well. I have a really hard time with foundation, like kind of breaking up on my nose, even like really quickly, like not like as the day wears on, but like kind of just, for some reason my nose doesn't like to hold foundation very well. So that's a plus, but on the negative side, it's already like creasing in my like forehead wrinkles, like my expression lines. So that's not good. But maybe once I like set it with powder and stuff, it'll help. Once again, I feel like the coverage is really nice. The color's not too off. It's a little fair, but once all my makeup is on, I feel like it's gonna look pretty good. But I'm glad that it's not like too orange. Okay, so it's not overly tacky. There are some spots like right here, like on the tops of my cheekbones, that are a little tacky, but for the most part, everywhere else, it's like kind of set. Like I still would set it with powder before applying the rest of my makeup on, just to make sure that like blending out my like bronzer and contour and stuff works out smoothly. So let me do the rest of my makeup and then I'll check back in. Hey guys. Okay, so the rest of my makeup is on, as you can see. So I was right. Once all of the makeup is on, I feel like it looks a little bit more like cohesive. Like I don't look so white, so pale. So all of my powders are on. I feel like just like I don't feel tacky or anything like that. It feels nice and matte. And all of the powders went on pretty well after I set it with some like translucent powder. So right now it is 11:49. You can see that. So I'm gonna check back in a couple of hours to see how it's holding up. To be fair, I didn't put any setting spray on because I didn't put any primer on. So see you in a couple hours. Hey guys, so I'm here to do my first little check-in. I apologize that I look a little, I just went on my my daily little walk, exercise, so I don't gain too much weight during this baby making. So it is, let's see, it is 2:20 right now, so I've had the makeup on for a couple hours. And like I said, I just went on my little walk, about 2 miles or so. So let's take a look at my face. So I'm gonna take this off, which I'm sure is not gonna look that pretty up here. It's like 75 degrees outside, so it's kind of hot. So, not surprisingly, it has worn off where my hat was. And right here where I had sunglasses on. For the cheeks, it looks pretty much the exact same as when I first put it on, which is good. It's worn off a little bit on my nose, but like I said, foundations usually break up really easily on my nose. So I'm sure it would have looked a lot better if I didn't go for my walk, And it's looking a little oily right in here and a little right here too. But for the most part, I'm pretty impressed with how the foundation has held up, because I was sweating and I was outside in the heat, in the Texas heat and stuff. Let me just put this back on so I don't look so weird with that forehead chunk missing. So I'm not gonna powder or anything. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is, just to see how it looks. I'll do my powder at the end. Okay, so I'm going to not powder, I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. And then at the end of the day, like I normally do, I will powder just to see if you were to wear this foundation for a full 8-hour shift or whatever. And then powder at the end if you're gonna go out to eat or whatever. So I'll check back in, I think around 5 o'clock or so. So I will see you then. Hey guys, so I'm here to do my last update. It's 5:30, so I haven't, come on, man. It's 5:30, so I haven't had this foundation on for too long, but I'm ready to just take a bath and call it a night. But I wanted to just give you a final check-in and then give you my final thoughts on this foundation before I wash off my face. So let me take a peek. So all things considered, me being outside today in the heat and I took a nap, the foundation held up pretty well considering there was no primer and no setting spray. I definitely feel like my face would look a lot better if I had those two things, because there's some breaking up on the nose, the chin, the forehead, and that sort of thing, and that's typical wearing throughout the day. So let me go ahead and powder like I normally would on my first impression videos. So I'm just gonna take my L'Oreal True Patch. What? I'm gonna take my L'Oreal True Match powder and just kind of powder around my face. My dogs are so angry at something outside. Okay, and let me take a peek at my skin up close. Yeah, so it looks pretty good. I think that it held up pretty well throughout the day. I didn't get greasy or anything like that. With the exception of when I was sweating and stuff outside, but I'm excited to wear this again and wear primer and wear setting spray and that sort of thing and give it a better shot. But with just those things, I think that it held up pretty well. I'm pretty impressed with this foundation. It's not my favorite or anything, but I'm really enjoying it. So again, that was the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. I got mine at Sephora for $27. doll hairs. And I'm in the shade 1 Linen, if you're curious. Oh, and I wanted to address, do I think that this is like a foundation and concealer? Like, can you wear this and skip concealer? If you were more on like the younger side and didn't have any sort of like discoloration or under eye bags or anything like that, for sure you could probably totally pull it off and just wear the foundation and no concealer. I do have like discoloration right in here, like right in the inner corners, so I can't skip the concealer. This wasn't high coverage enough for me to skip concealer. And again, I do prefer using a beauty blender over a brush with this foundation. It was a little too kind of thick and cakey for me to like with a brush. I felt like the brush was just kind of like slipping, sliding it all over my face, but this really helped blend it into my skin. And I did want to address one more thing. So I was thinking, like, how does this compare to the Milani 2-in-1 foundation and concealer? Conceal and perfect. Like, beyond perfecting, conceal and perfect. Are these similar? Absolutely not. This foundation, I'm not really a huge fan of this foundation. I know a lot of people are. And I know I'm going on a sidetrack, but I just wanted to give you my opinion in case you were curious of these two, since like they kind of claim to be the same thing. This foundation is extremely cakey. It's very, very thick. Like, it is a super like thick, like moussey texture, and the color range is very slim. And I also feel like this foundation oxidizes, and I didn't feel like that at all with this one, which is nice. I really appreciate a foundation that does not oxidize over time. Oh, excuse me. So that's kind of it for my first impressions. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you like first impression foundation videos, then please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you can keep up with all my new videos that I put up. I try to do the 3 times a week thing. Sometimes it's less. Thanks for sticking around anyway. I know that I've been a little absent the past couple weeks, but I'm trying. Anyway, I will list a link to this foundation in the description box below, along with all the other places on the interwebs where you can find me, my Instagram, my Twitter, and my Snapchat. I will list that down below for you. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! I just got a text message. Yeah. Oh. I have my phone in here. Hey boys, can you settle just for like a minute while I finish? Hey Bosley, come here baby, come here. Come here, come here, come here. I just need to finish what I'm saying, and then you guys can continue, okay? Let me just finish. Barney, come up here. Okay, that way I can separate you two. Oh my god, my dogs are barking so much and so loud.